Good morning, Dustin here from Dustin's Dynasty. And while I'm not just speaking about autism today, and it is Autism Acceptance, Awareness, whatever you call it, month, inclusion too, it's that time of the month again. And as I promised back at the beginning of March, when I would start February or March, I don't remember when, but I did 30 days, 31 days of gratitude for January. And I practiced the same for March. And I plan on doing it possibly for April if I get my act together today. So it's been a few days this week, a lot of anxiety earlier this week. And I'm finally in a relaxed state and have some free time here this morning. So I thought we would go through the 31 things that I was grateful for um, in March. March had a lot of things going on. It was spring, it was Easter, just great things. But also the fact that I really thought hard about these when I wrote these every day this time instead of in January. I really took my time to wait to the end of the day and think about it before depositing the gratitude thought of the day into the little jar here that I have. Still, but I did cut a hole in it, so it's easier and it's so much better. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm not gonna preclude you from that too much, but we're gonna go ahead and get started with the gratitude of March. Number one, the first one, the ability to sleep through the night. And I think I've always had the ability, and I'm grateful for it. Medicine really helps in that arena, and I'm really grateful for finally getting on track and on a dosage that's really helpful for me to help me get to sleep and help with my autism and things like that. And we can debate all day for what medicine and autism does, but for me, I had to find out the hard way that it works for me, and it does great things. So I'm really truly grateful for that too. And it's really good. On number two, spending time with family. We had went to Raising Cane's and Sam's Club this day for my mom and my sister's birthdays. We went to Raising Cane's. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Raising Cane's. It's not where in the close proximity um to where I live, but it's down towards Pittsburgh. And really fun establishment if you're really into chicken fingers. Although the establishment does have is a very high pitched, high acoustic ceiling. So it's kind of loud in there. And anyway, it's really loud, but the food is good. And there's you get coleslaw, garlic bread. It's really nice dinner, $20, and you can pay for that anywhere. It's really, really good, and I really did enjoy it. And I think we're going again sometime. So definitely worth that. And we went to Sam's Club where I started to get into the habit of buying food in bulk. My sister's been helping me do that, and I'm grateful for her too for allowing me to do that. She's been helping me get some things I need on her trips down here, and it's really been helpful, especially with portioning and drinking water when I need to. So yeah, that's very good. Number three, the ability to practice self-care. Sometimes we don't think enough about self-care. There was a program at Weight Loss this week that our leader did, our co-leader did, and it was really open and insightful to what self-care is. It's more than getting your hairs and your hair cut or your nails done. It's about it's about just taking care of you and being able to relax and do the things that you need to do and by taking care of yourself in the way that you need to. I do a lot of self-care. In my house, we often do self-care Saturday, um, where I would do laundry most of the time, or if I'm not doing something with a family or something like that. And I'll do the laundry and I'll read and I'll clean, but I mean, really, sometimes I'll just relax too and read and do something interesting, info dump, do whatever you need to do. All right, number four, my determination to never give up. I had gained weight this night at weight loss group, probably from the dinner we had on Saturday, and I was very frustrated that night, and things weren't going the way I thought they should go, and just you know, there's days like that. Things go the way that you don't always intend them to go. But I kept, all these years of going to weight loss group, 17 years. I think it's been 17, 100. It'll be 17 in November. And all throughout all that time, I have never given up on going to weight loss group. Now, sometimes I will say for many, many years, I had a hard debate with the scale there, and my mom would have to like coerce me to go, not in a negative, rewarding sort of way, but just like you got to do it. And now that I've put more volunteerism into it, I write the newsletter, I do many other things. Um, I feel that, I feel like I have to go and I have to be a part of that. And it's part of what I do on Monday nights. It's my Monday night thing. Number five, my neighborhood is to walk around on nice days. And today's not a nice day. And the neighborhood, some of the neighbors had to get their basements pumped up yesterday and into today because of the flooding that's been going on. But it's nice, that I can have a nice little neighborhood to walk around in. And I think of, all the great, places, some of the other cities that people have, people with, that don't have the insight or the street smarts and can't walk around the neighborhoods, and you think about that. And I think just having that was when we had a stretch of nice days in March. There was like 4 or 5, I think, that week, and just being able to go outside and get some fresh air, not only just sit outside, but go out and go for a walk and get some fresh air. And the stores, if you wanted to go in and buy a bottle of water, you could, or go get something like at the pizza place if you wanted. I think that was a good thing. Number 6, nice transportation drivers. Believe we were having, I believe that was the day one of the transportation drivers retired. And I've been riding public transportation or paratransit for probably the past 5 months now. And it's been a change, but it's an embracing change. And I'm getting used to the drivers that drive me, and there's about 20 of them, but I'm getting used to them slowly, and they're getting used to me, and I'm just being a good passenger and doing what I need to do. But it never hurts to not be nice to them because they have a lot going on, and they have to prioritize who they're taking, where they're taking, how they're getting people home. And some people aren't happy with that. Some people like to complain. And I've learned, I've radically accepted that I can't complain about it. It's a service, it's a shared ride service. Shared ride means there's multiple people on there going to multiple destinations, whether that's medical, whether that's senior citizens, whether that's people like myself who have a disability, or people who need to go to work, or it's like I do, or programming, and I have to be nice to them, and in turn, they are often nice to me. So I'm truly grateful for the drivers that we do have, and the caring that they do give to us, and the care that I give to them. The 7th was my mom's birthday, and for that I read my mom and her love and her care. She always, if I need something, she makes sure I do it. Like this morning, we're going to the post office and places, making sure that I have my needs met. She's always making sure that I have my needs met and that I'm cared for, and that I'm safe, and the best things that are happening for me. And she is truly a legend, and she is not dropping too much on the autism club. She's the fierce fighter. She's always made sure that I've gotten the care that I needed. And it's probably one of the reasons why I'm here and why I'm still here living independently, and not in an institution. So truly grateful for that. Um, the 8th, a better Friday, understanding of me and myself. And I think, it's hard when you have Fridays, and it's under non-understanding Fridays. Fridays can be hard, but you have to make them what you can make them. Sometimes I work on Fridays, sometimes I go to day program on Fridays, but you have to make them the best that you can be. All right, number 9. Number 9. That I am able to do something with my mom in public after taking my bedtime medicine. And I hadn't, this is when I had not, I mean, well, I have been for a while now, for about a month now. But um, I think, that was the first time that I'd actually been able to, we had done something that we enjoyed. It was like an activity, and I was actually mentally stable and not overpowering or not, overabundant. And I think that that was a big step, and it felt so good. It felt so relieving to be able to finally be at a place, and where I'm at now, even, understanding that you can do things, you can do amazing things. Number 10, finding a way to worship and keeping engaged. Um, when I couldn't go to church. It's 2024, and if you had told me, I know some churches had connected before the pandemic, but if you had told me that churches, many more churches since the pandemic had connected to doing virtual work, having at least a connection to a live stream or Facebook Live or something that you can see what's going on in the church and try to practice in your own way. You would not think, we wouldn't think that, but it happens now, and it's much better. And on the Sundays when you feel like you don't have anything to do or it's hard, then you can do it. Number 11, finding more to fulfill my void. And I am finding more to fulfill my void. I'm connecting with others and, working on finding ways to help cope with the anxiety. Now, I will say that the last 2 days with the rain, I was really anxious, so I just went to bed early. But, I'm doing the daily post on Facebook from my Dustin's Dynasty page, and I share them to my Facebook feed, my personal Facebook feed, and they really inspire me. And this month, I want to work more on autism, specifically what we need. And I was inspired to do that by another blogger, and I'm really inspired to talk about more about what we need and share more about what we need. But I need to find more things to fulfill my time. The possibilities are limitless. Number 12, an understanding of what I don't need to eat and drink something before I want or need that item. I think sometimes my brain overthinks, and I think it's the same thing with many people who are autistic. We want millions of food, lots of food, lots of food. We eat without thinking. We don't know when to say stop. And the same can happen for neurotypical people too. We don't know when to say stop. And I think I'm working more and more on when to say that stop and to say, okay, we need to clean up the meal, the kitchen, whatever, and work more on, doing what we need to do. Number 13, my clubhouse staff and members. I've said this probably a couple times the last few months. I've had a love-hate relationship with my clubhouse, and time's nearing the end. Unfortunately, it's been almost 20 years, and I really don't see myself going past the 20th year mark. It's becoming a point where things are the goal. There's not much goals I can work on and we're going to work on more community involvement. So that's the next step after this step, and that'll be in a couple more months in this budgeting step. If things go the way they go, I'm not 100% sure. There's a little bit of a delay in the budgeting process, so I don't know, what that step, but the next step will be more community involvement. So I don't know what that's gonna look like. It looks scary, but while I'm at the clubhouse, I enjoy having the deep relationship with the members and staff there, and having the conversations that I have because I am a wealth of their knowledge and a wealth of all other knowledge because of who I am, the talented individual that I am. So it's always important. Um, 14, sleep and early mornings. I think, having the gift of sleep is one thing, like I said on day one, but I like to go to bed early because I think it's just hard to fill that void at night. And I think because I have to start my day sometimes early to get out the door, it's between 6:40 and 7:40. Um, I do start my mornings early, and I find that very, very rewarding. It's quiet, the streets are quiet, there's not a lot of people on them. I mean, I'm in my home, but it's just a whole different thing. I like to watch the news, read my devotions. Um, Definitely get in, some writing if I can. But although I've been putting the writing on Sunday afternoons as a way of reflecting after church. But it's definitely something. Um, 15. My employer for their many chances to keep me employed and the new the new fanfare of a new building. So it's been about, I want to say it's coming up pretty soon. It's been about 6 months since I've been back to work, and they were in there a month before. So we're in a new building. It's new to us. It's 20 some years old. It was a funeral home. I like to say that a lot, but um, it's not perfect, but it works, and I'm doing better at it than I thought I would. Um, I'm doing better probably because I'm caring for myself a lot better than what I've been for the last 5 years. And understanding, how important that is. Um, but I'm grateful for the many chances, and that's part of it. I had two relapses in the course of the last 5 years. I've had a pest infestation. So I think just the graces and the coming back and the value that I know that I'm needed. Like yesterday, I really had that sense of value that I was really needed and I'm really supported for what I'm doing. And I know I'm the 15%. And sometimes it's really hard to get up and go in the morning. And this week was one of those. Yesterday, well, I wouldn't say yesterday, but after the first night, Tuesday night, I was done. I was checked out, and I knew I had to go yesterday. And I did treat myself to make delivery for lunch. Um, but I just I love it, and I wouldn't keep going if I didn't like it. 16, my own laundry equipment. I think, we don't realize, even just having access to laundry equipment in general, we don't realize how the world functions and how people are out there even just living off the streets or living in their cars and, just having access to even have money to do your laundry. We're seeing a lot of free laundry events in the county. The contractor that I do surveys for has quarterly events. I've seen a church does monthly events in our community. So it's a need, definitely a need. But having my own equipment was a big step for me when I moved here, and probably one of the pros of living here that I do enjoy, because I was living in a high res before, and that was you had to share the equipment, and it was kind of hard. So um, having my access to my own means I can do laundry when I want and how I want, and there's some degree of understanding and privacy, some expectation of privacy when it comes to doing that. So just truly being grateful for having that and having the funds to be able to buy those things. 17, to be able to go to church and greet the visitors. um I have been going to church all my life, well, not most of my life, but pretty much most of my life, and same community church, same Methodist church that I have been going to since I was a young kid. And this has been the third time that I've greeted with my mother. And this is probably the second time in 5 months. That just tells you how declining the population is. But it's the same people. It's feeling more at home, even more than it now than what it has in the past. But that means, that you have to do it more often. You have to greet more often. You're on the rotation more often, every 5 months or so. And it really feels, really good to get to know people, meet people, and work with people. Number 18, being able to have Mondays off. I know some people struggle with Mondays. I'm one who struggles with transitions, and it's a common thing among the neurodivergent population. Um, And I've selectively chosen to have, if mostly if I can help it, and have accommodations to be at home or be off on Mondays because it's hard to get up and get moving after a weekend. And then, I can relax some more and take time for me and do some of the things I need to do in addition to the things I need to do on the other day. Let's see. Where are we here? 19. My ability to help someone at work, a caller, find a way to get help. So, I don't always get calls at work for help, but I was blessed this one day for this gentleman to call me on the phone and he needed help, and I knew the expertise that he needed to go into and what he needed to do to get the specific help that he needed that probably nobody else could help. Some people could not be sure of how to help find, and I was able to get him on a path to get going to where he needed to go. And I like those moments when I get to do that. And that's another part of the rewarding part of my job. Um, doing number 20, doing well self-care for a day. I took a day off of programming that day. And I sometimes feel guilt about that, but part of it is knowing that I have to take self-care time. And we talked, I'm gonna have to highlight that more, but on my blog, but um, self-care is very vital, and you can't take care of others. You can't do the things you need to do to make a living if you can't take care of yourself. And it's very important. 21, being okay, not being the center of attention and being flexible with plans. It's hard as an autistic person to be flexible, but I've had many years of practice, many years of understanding of needing to be flexible, and it's not always the case with everybody. Many autistic people are very rigid, and thankfully I am more flexible over the years than what I have been in the beginning. 22, 22, payday, um, payday, money, making a living and being able to live. That's the same thing with the past week here, the last 2 days, working back to back 2 days. It's hard, but it's a living, and I needed to live well and be able to live the lifestyle that I want to live. Um, living in public housing on your benefits is not it's hard, it's challenging. I see it sometimes, but being able to have that little extra money and I'm granted that I've been working a very long I've been at the same job for over 14 years now, and being able to have that extra income really helps with being able just to live comfortably. And sometimes it's hard to see that, and sometimes I'm bitter about it, but I'm grateful for that. Let's see. 23. Family, the bond is deep. They will help if I ask for it. And that was, I think that's something that I said about earlier about going to Sam's Club. She brought me water and snacks, and I didn't even have to ask for that. And my sister checks in on me all the time, her and my niece, and you know, family accepts me for who I am now. Granted, I know that's not every situation, but I'm truly grateful for that. And just having that, we had a connection with family, and we went to my parents' house. We colored eggs for Easter, and just having that connection was very important. Church family, um, the kindness and the songs. I think sometimes, just having the kindness and being able to understand and have just the companionship and the camaraderie and the unity of a worship community is a big thing. 25, technology to have meetings from home. And that must have been a Monday because I did have a meeting, and just being able to connect and not have to go into the office for one meeting a month that we don't, it's easier to meet with the technology that we have today, that we don't have to rely on others to connect in a way that we did in the past. And it's more beneficial to do that. So, that's definitely a grateful thing. my job in the 26th, my job and the freedom I have there. So again, my job is, having the job that I have, and it's, understanding it and being and they accepting that me managing the work climate that can be challenging sometimes and complex for me as an autistic person. I think that's, the hard thing sometimes we don't understand. That's one of the big battles. And I think it's the interesting thing is I've never had an interview. I just got hired. And it's very hard to work for you're very fortunate when you come across an employer that does that. 27, having fun with my clubhouse family. That was the day of um, our Easter party. And I was a little irritable when I went in. I'll be honest with you. The schedule was changed, and I don't do well. Anybody who's autistic doesn't do well with change. A lot of people who are autistic don't do well with change, but I adapted and we played games, and I was really against games because I thought they were for children, but we're all young at heart. And when I had seen another individual who I would have never thought would have played the game because of their social inability or their social skills, and then I did it because I felt I had to do it. And I felt good about it. Felt good about being part of that. 28, public transportation to and from work and the clubhouse. I've talked a lot about it, but just having that service and not having and the way the service works now is much better than it did in the past. And being able to understand that and being a more understanding and working better. There's room to improve, and I shared that on my Facebook yesterday, on my Dustin's Dynasty yesterday. But for having it and being able just for me to be able to navigate it and get to and from work easily and the benefits it provides is great. 29, being able to go to clubhouse on my days off. So I had an extra day off that week, and just being able to go and get it out of the house and having that place to go. Again, like I said, I don't know what the future holds, but right now I needed that, and that was a good thing. My home in 30, my home in the safety it brings. Sometimes we don't realize how, things we don't take things for granted. But I was grateful for my home just because I have it and I can do the things I want to do. And, I don't think, it was a struggle living with my parents when, especially after I lost the first apartment and coming back and just being grateful to be here in this apartment. And it just, things just worked out the way they did. And I can't be grateful enough. 31, and that was Easter. So this is the last one. Holidays and time with my loved ones. We don't realize, we were thinking about family, during we were having Easter dinner. And those that have left us, those we don't speak to, those that do their own thing now because we're not part of the glue that held the family together isn't there anymore. And everybody does their thing and families grow and families expand, and it's just different. So just truly grateful for that, truly grateful for everything that occurred in April, I mean in March. So I'm going to start the box today and think about a few things that happened the last few days since we're only on the 4th, and we'll try to keep this up going. I appreciate if you studied through the video. I really appreciate that you did. It really means a lot to me. So, all right. And we'll talk at you soon. Hopefully we keep going, and we'll see you next month. Bye-bye for now.